welcome everyone joining this introduction session that we are going to do for 3 days. And we are going to directly jump on the introduction that what's this program all about and what's the total duration and what's the agenda, what's the output of this product, this overall program. And at the end of the session, I'm also going to do a exclusive discussion about AI roadmap because I know that's top of the mind thought. Everyone is thinking about the AI and what is the scope and what's the overall journey learning AI and everything. So I will cover like 5 to 10 minutes at the end of the session. Uh, so let's just begin. So we are etc. As you guys know. So those who have been with us. So it was Marvel Minds before. So we have rebranded that to Accenture due to some legal and some other constraints. So, so Accenture is a training and consulting platform. So we have been training in last 5 years and trained more than I would say 300 students, and many of them got really placed in very good MNCs. So you will find all the testimonials and details about those success stories onto our website, and I'm going to share some of them here. So we are going to deep dive about the program. So what's our agenda? What do we? So before we do that, I'm going to also mention that Accenture is the entity of Red Stack Labs. So Red Stack Labs is a software development company. So we have been in operations from last 5 years. So doing multiple projects from global clients based in California, London, and we have done many projects based in UAE and Gulf region, particularly Lebanon and Saudi Arabia. So we have multiple projects, in-house projects, and we are doing some research level projects in the AI space as well. So coming to myself, is AI-led company. So they are building an autonomous testing platform. I have a background of BTech from NIT, MTech from BITS diploma in scientific computing and Python from World Quint University, MBA in data science, and today I'm pursuing AI product management from Duke University. So let's just get started. So what is enterprise software development? So before we jump into like what's a program, what are we gonna learn about and everything. So I'm going to give you a broad idea about what's the enterprise software development about. So when it comes to web development, so particularly the newer generations, okay, where we think like AI has overtaken and things are very quick. You can build a website or an application in just a prompt or something. So, but there is more on it. When I'm saying enterprise software, so that means building large business, I would say, driven or business analytics or decision projects. Okay, so as part of that product, you will see like very large softwares in the space of ERPs, CRMs, learning management system, or HRMS, or like different kind of like whatever the business plans and business, I would say, analytics they are implementing in. Okay, तो एंटरप्राइज सॉफ्टवेयर में क्या होता है कि we are not talking about websites only. Okay, ठीक है, you can give a prompt and you can build a website. लेकिन यहाँ पे हम रियल प्रॉब्लम्स, रियल जो चैलेंज है एक बिजनेस के अंदर, उसको सॉल्व करने की कोशिश करते हैं. ओके, सो थिंक ऑफ अ बैंकिंग management application. Okay, so where you are doing a lot of transactions and everything. So think of a business application who are giving insights or who are using AI ML to generate some response. Okay, so they are doing research about, let's say, supply chain management. Let's say Coca-Cola or like any other big company, Unilever, whatever. So जो वो प्रोडक्शन वगैरह करते हैं तो उनका सप्लाई चेन मैनेजमेंट के हिसाब से उनका एनालिटिक्स कि वो कितना प्रोड्यूस करना चाहिए, उनके फोरकास्टर्स क्या है, सेल्स स्ट्रेटजी क्या होगी. सो इफ यू हैव टू बिल्ड अ प्रोडक्ट अराउंड दैट, सो देयर इज अ वेरी बिग रिसर्च एंड लॉट ऑफ साइंस बिहाइंड इट. ओके, तो उस रियल प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करने के लिए दैट्स व्हाट इज रोल ऑफ ए एंटरप्राइज सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपर और वेब डेवलपर्स. That's where company pays tons of money. Okay, they do not. What happened? Am I still connected, guys? Yep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So enterprise software में apart from your like software project like core business जो value होगा जो आप ला रहे हैं, there are other parts of the software ecosystem जो overall product build करना है. So there are things like DevOps, cloud infrastructure, monitoring and deployment, or scalable architecture. So these are the things that are the peripherals. जो हम like I would say there are no courses, there are no explanation to this, but you will learn with the experience. Okay, so there are definitely like a lateral level or a senior level kind of programs for these things. Okay, so at architect level or a lead level, you guys get familiar with these things, but these are very crucial things. एक scalable एक large enterprise software जहाँ पे like there could be millions of users, उनको handle करने के लिए जो enterprise software बनेगा तो उसकी technical foundation क्या होगी. So what are the different components or different modules that you are going to use. So that's what enterprise software development is all about. So how do we work, like how does enterprise software like get into the structure. So at a very high level I am going to talk about the client server architecture. तो इसमें तीन इंपॉर्टेंट चीजें रहती है. एक तो आपकी क्लाइंट लेयर रहती है, दैट्स योर फ्रंट एंड, कि जो एप्लीकेशन आप फ्रंट एंड पे बिल्ड करते हैं. नाउ लेट्स थिंक अबाउट अ कॉमन एप्लीकेशन, लेट्स से फेसबुक. तो आपका जो फ्रंट एंड है, सो यू आर सिंपली टाइपिंग a URL and that loads a particular interface that gives you your username password. आप वो एंटर करते हैं and then you get logged in into your particular account जहाँ पे आपके particular message, your friends, your groups and your timeline. Okay, so you see all of that. So now that information, like that technology, how do you display that information? Wo images, videos, whatever the content is, how do you display that on the front end? Aapke mobile screens pe, or on the laptop or on the tablets, how do you display that? The graphics or the user interface. That's called the client layer. Usko hum client ya front end bhi bolte hain. And on the other hand, it does not work on its own. So do we have Facebook servers into our mobiles or onto our laptop? Nahi, right? So what happens, it connects through internet to the Facebook servers. Okay, so these are large machines which are residing into the like Facebook data centers. तो वहां पे क्या होता है, जब उनके साथ कनेक्ट करते हैं, it retrieves that information from the databases. So I hope you guys are aware about database वगैरह क्या होता है, but we are going to like inshallah learn about it in detail, right? So जो आपका backend होगा, that is the computing engine. It's going to do all the kind of processing. It's going to validate आपके username password सही है कि नहीं है, और it's going to do the processing. मुझे timeline पे क्या दिखाना है और कितना दिखाना है. Okay, so it's going to process that, retrieve that information from the database layer, like having different types of database. It could be a SQL, NoSQL database and all. So वो सब चीजें जो है वो combine होके फिर एक रेस्पॉन्स आता है, और वही रेस्पॉन्स के हिसाब से आपका फ्रंट एंड बिल्ड होता है. ओके, एंड देन यू गेट टू सी those images and videos or those text messages or whatever, right? So there is a lot of detailed explanations like how the data
सर
flows
वॉइस
front.
ब्रेक हो रही है सर,
Sorry.
वॉइस क्लियर नहीं आ रही है.
Is it with everyone?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, so I hope uh, let me just switch the network. Or hope it will be better after that. I think I'm on a good network. Okay, let me just continue. Okay. So आपका जो overall जो architecture रहता है, it is this called client server architecture. And believe me, like most of the systems are built like that, but there is a very advanced level micro services architecture. जहाँ पे again your front end could be divided into different applications. आपका back end जो होगा, आपकी service layer जो होगी, that could be like divided into maybe hundreds or even thousands of applications. Okay, so to give you an example of the scale of the application कि कितना बड़ा हो सकता है, so we know about a brand like automobile brand called Uber, right? Most of you must have heard about it कि वो cabs वगैरह provide करते हैं. So that's a very big and very large enterprise. So they operate across the globe in like all big cities and everything. So recently they have like joined Srinagar as well. So what they do is they have a very huge system. Okay, and believe me, they had almost 1,000 माइक्रो सर्विसेज जहाँ पे अलग अलग मॉड्यूल्स अलग अलग कंपोनेंट्स के हिसाब से अलग अलग एप्लीकेशंस उन्होंने बिल्ड करी थी बैक एंड और फ्रंट एंड में. Okay, so later they scaled down to almost 700 and 800 something, but still the scale of these applications is so high कि अगर एक एक टीम को लिया जाए where there are 4 to 5 members, even if they are managing let's say 10 or 20 microservices different modules, तब भी देखो कितना बड़ा टीम बन रहा है उनका. ठीक है, so that's the level. That's why people need too many software developers, QA engineers, or I would say senior and project managers and all that. So that's like all part of the web development, right? So next we are going to break down. अभी backend में क्या है? So backend में if you see you are going to build the server side logic. आपका जो business logic होगा, how to connect with the database, उसको optimize करना है. Database के connect, if the volume is huge, आपका data बहुत ज़्यादा है, तो उसको कैसे process करेंगे? You cannot go and bring millions of records together. So you have to process, you have to optimize it. So there are different frameworks and different languages to do it. So first of all, there is Java and Spring Boot framework. So with this, like I would say all top enterprise software, they definitely use it because it's very robust, very secure, like highly secure, and it's very stable and mature. Kafi time ho gaya, like almost like 20, 30 years since it is like got developed and evolved. Then comes Python, most famous, and I would say one of the easiest ways like to implement it. So it has frameworks like Flask and Django. So it is very famous because it has a lot of integration with machine learning libraries and all. Okay, but it is also heavily getting used for the web development. Other than that, there is .NET and C Sharp, so which is a Microsoft developer technology. So for a very long time, it wasn't open source. It wasn't available to everyone. Okay, so open source जब हम बोलते हैं, we can go inside the code, we can see how this language is built, what are the libraries inside it. You could have simply picked up, जैसे ASP.NET था इससे पहले, आपको बस उसके APIs वगैरह मिलते थे कि इसके ऊपर कैसे बिल्ड कर सकते हैं, बट यू कैनॉट गो इनसाइड द लैंग्वेज. आप उसके इंटरनल पार्ट्स को नहीं दे सकते थे. But Java and Python are like open source. So .NET Core got open source, and in last 5 to 6 years they have picked up really very well, and it is getting also very commonly used. लेकिन उतना ज़्यादा scale नहीं है जितना Python और Java का है. Then comes a very interesting part, that's Node.js and Express. Why it is common, like why it got so famous? Because यहाँ पे जो आप language सीखते हैं, that is JavaScript only. तो आपको खाली एक लैंग्वेज सीखनी है, बिकॉज जावास्क्रिप्ट यू हैव टू एनीवेज लर्न. क्योंकि आपको अगर क्लाइंट साइड पे फ्रंट एंड पे काम करना है, यू द कोर टेक्नोलॉजी दैट यू हैव टू लर्न इज HTML CSS एंड जावास्क्रिप्ट. तो अगर जावास्क्रिप्ट आपने वहां पे सीख लिया है, देन यू आर ऑलरेडी फेमिलियर विद द लैंग्वेज. यू जस्ट हैव टू लर्न द फ्रेमवर्क कि इसका फ्रेमवर्क कैसे यूज करेंगे. ठीक है, so that is where Node.js and Express comes into the picture. And like everyone has its pros and cons, and there is, I would say, very large debated and आई वुड से डिटेल्ड एंड रिसर्च डिस्कशंस अबाउट के किस प्रोजेक्ट में किस टेक्नोलॉजी को पिक करें, whether we should pick up Python, we should pick up Node.js, we should pick up Java. So before a project gets picked, that decisions have to be made very carefully. अगर आप randomly कोई भी चीज उठा के डाल देते हैं, so you will face the bottlenecks. So depends upon the usability, मतलब banking application का scenario और आपकी Facebook application का scenario. इनका like इनके use cases ही different है. So you have to see कि कहाँ पे ज्यादा एडवांटेज है, कौन सा फ्रेमवर्क यूज करने में ज्यादा एडवांटेज है. सो दैट इज डिसाइडेड बाय द आर्किटेक्ट्स. ओके, so now that's part of the backend, and all these frameworks connect with the database. They do a lot of processing, they use lot of, like I would say, latest and advanced libraries to do additional like processing, data pipelining, like event driven architectures, messages भेजना एक दूसरे को. So kind of that inform, like that kind of things are getting handled here. नेक्स्ट पार्ट इज फ्रंट एंड. फ्रंट एंड में हम क्या बिल्ड करते हैं, आपका इंटरफेस. ओके, सो नाउ यू अंडरस्टैंड, फ्रंट एंड है, बैक एंड है. बैक एंड में बिजनेस लॉजिक जो डेटाबेस के साथ कनेक्ट करेगा, एंड यू विल राइट ऑल काइंड ऑफ प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग एल्गोरिदम्स एंड एवरीथिंग ऑन द बैक एंड साइड. फ्रंट एंड में आप हैंडल करो कि भाई आपका इंटरफेस कैसे दिखना चाहिए, और you have to be creative about it. You want to make it fancy and everything. So if you see application today, let's say Facebook, Instagram, उसका यूजर इंटरफेस देख लो कितना स्मूथ और कितने अच्छे से लाइक चीजें दिखा जाए. यू विल सी डिफरेंस बिटवीन वेरियस वेबसाइट्स. कोई वेबसाइट अच्छी है, हमारी गवर्नमेंट या JNK की वेबसाइट्स को देख लो, एंड देन लुक एट द वेबसाइट्स दैट्स प्रोवाइडेड बाय एप्पल और गूगल और व्हाटएवर. देयर इज अ ह्यूज गैप, राइट? सो वही, दैट्स द डिफरेंस बिटवीन हाउ दे गॉट इम्प्लीमेंटेड. मे बी दे आर यूजिंग सेम टेक्नोलॉजी, HTML and CSS, लेकिन आपका क्रिएटिविटी, आपका डिजाइन, दैट डज मैटर. वो बहुत ज्यादा वेरी करता है. सो उसका कोर जो है, दैट इज HTML, CSS एंड JavaScript. JavaScript again has picked up really very well. It has been around like for very long time. Java के बाद ही ये immediately introduce हुआ था, because HTML CSS was the interface. लेकिन उसके ऊपर उसको इंटरेक्टिव बनाने के लिए फिर JavaScript लैंग्वेज आई, and you can write same logic जिस तरह से आप Java में लिखते हैं. So here you have the same similar kind of syntax, but obviously there are like very huge differences. So JavaScript as a language, you have basic or vanilla JavaScript and then advanced JavaScript. Okay, that advanced JavaScript sets the base for these frameworks. अभी जो लेटेस्ट फ्रेमवर्क्स है जिसकी डिमांड बहुत ज्यादा है. सो इफ यू आर लाइक, इफ यू मेक हैंड्स ऑन दीज थिंग्स, जस्ट HTML CSS JavaScript और एक फ्रेमवर्क पिक कर लो, यू आर रेडी फॉर द वेब डेवलपमेंट. ठीक है, एंड दिस कुड बी डन, आई वुड से डेफिनेटली इन 1 month. एंड देयर इज अ वे टू डू इट, देयर इज अ पाथ. आपको जानना है कि वही चीजें सीखनी है. अदरवाइज सी HTML या JavaScript को अगर लेंगे, दैट इज सो ह्यूज कि एक साल में भी खत्म नहीं होगा. उतनी लाइब्रेरीज, उतने APIs, उतना ज्यादा डिटेल्ड डॉक्यूमेंटेशन है. ओके, बट यू हैव टू लर्न कि 90% और 99% इंडस्ट्री में क्या यूज होता है, or what is getting asked into the interviews. Okay, so that's how we have designed this program, कि आपको उतना ही सिखाएंगे जो very commonly use होता है. Then you can build the knowledge as per the requirement. जहां आपको लग रहा है you have to pick up additional library or an API, so you will do it at the runtime जब project build कर रहे हैं, right? So what are the different frameworks which are very common? Angular is there, developed by Google. React.js is there, which was developed by Facebook. They immediately made it open source, and it has been, I would say, longest time around, and like having the biggest community. और इसके काफी सारे advantage है, because React.js also provides advanced like different libraries which are using same technology, same syntax, लेकिन अलग अलग तरीकों से अलग अलग चीजों के लिए यूज होते हैं. For example, it is also getting used for mobile development in the form of React Native, which is a different framework. लेकिन React Native mobile application, whether it's for Android or iOS, you can build that. If you know React, you are already familiar with React Native. कुछ थोड़े बहुत syntaxes की change होगी, that's all. And then other framework is Next.js. That's also 100% React.js. खाली उसका project का structure different है. Then we have Vue.js also, which is community open source, lightweight है, easy to learn है. लेकिन उतना ज्यादा कॉमन नहीं है जितना रिएक्ट जेएस और एंगुलर जेएस की डिमांड है. Okay, so these frameworks are common and there are many more. Okay, but we are not going there. We are talking about कि mainstream companies, enterprise companies क्या use कर रही है. So now, so there is a combined version of these things, which is very high in demand today, जिसको हम बोलते हैं full stack development. Full stack development is someone who can do everything, who can build a front end, who can build a back end also. अभी मैंने बोला कि back end can be developed in Java or Python या फिर Node.js, जो हमने देखा अभी, right? Node.js and Express.js, which is like Node.js library only. तो इसको अगर इन तीन चीजों को कंबाइन करते हैं, चार चीजों को कंबाइन करते हैं, सो दिस काइंड ऑफ टेक स्टैक, इस टेक्नोलॉजी को हम बोलते हैं मर्न. Okay, where it stands for Mongo, which is the database, which is a NoSQL database. But there are options. आप NoSQL based on the requirement, आप या तो NoSQL यूज करोगे या SQL database, relational database, जहाँ पे table formats में डेटा होता है और MongoDB में document format में. So you can use either one of them, and you have to use Express for creating the APIs and everything, for creating the backend. Node is the runtime environment where on top of which your Express and your React.js will work, and React R stands for React.js. So इस tech stack को अगर देखा जाए, so this has been, I would say, very very popular into the industry like in last 10 years, and it is very high in demand even today. And this sets the foundation key, you understand end to end, like I would say software development like process and architecture overall कि कैसे एक full enterprise software को build कर सकते हैं. And then on top of this, certainly you have to find the ways कि भाई where can I use Java, and you have to learn about Java, or maybe you have to learn about Python. That will change, that will come to you. सी अभी अगर कंपनीज किसी डेवलपर को लेती है, सो दैट्स नॉट अबाउट के वो एक पर्टिकुलर टेक्नोलॉजी या एक पर्टिकुलर फ्रेमवर्क को लेके ही इज एक्सपर्टीज. पहले होता था जावा डेवलपर 20 साल तक जावा डेवलपमेंट ही कर रहा है, ही डजंट नो एनीथिंग अबाउट फ्रंट एंड, उसको एचटीएमएल सीएसएस का जीरो भी नहीं पता है. बट दैट्स नॉट हैपनिंग टुडे. कंपनीज डिमांड एवरीवन टू नो एटलीस्ट लाइक some of everything and expertise on one of the things. Okay, तो अगर आप ये particular framework pick करते हैं, so you are good at all, you can handle the project end to end. लेकिन certainly there will be requirements, maybe in the future company will say you have to pick up Java. लेकिन उसके लिए आपको टाइम भी मिलता है, कंपनीज में आपको बोलते हैं कि चलो 3 महीने में या 3 weeks or 4 weeks you have to prepare Java. लेकिन उसके लिए जो फाउंडेशन है, that is data structure, algorithms, problem solving, like core concept, concepts. So you have to be very familiar with that, then you can very quickly pick that. Okay, so inshallah we are going to cover all of that. So जो हमारा MERN stack program है, now we are talking about full stack. Why do we pick up MERN stack? क्योंकि अगर Java और Python को pick करते हैं, that's altogether a very big concept, right? Usko pick karna, that will take a significant time, and we have programs into that, so feel free someone who wants to do that. लेकिन यहाँ पे एडवांटेज है कि यू हैव टू पिक अप ओनली वन लैंग्वेज. तो जो कोर आपका प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग डेटा स्ट्रक्चर है, पहले उसको जावास्क्रिप्ट में ही स्ट्रॉन्ग करेंगे, एंड देन वी विल इंप्लीमेंट दैट ऑन द बैकएंड आल्सो. So you will understand overall system, and you can go ahead and build a project and build a portfolio for yourselves. So how do we start? We start from very basics. We pick up HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Then we jump to advanced JavaScript. उसके ऊपर एक project create करते हैं. Then we pick up React.js. उसके ऊपर एक project create होता है. And then we pick up backend Node.js, Express, MySQL database और MongoDB. MongoDB का भी introduction करते हैं. And then final project, which will be both front and backend. उसके बाद यू विल हैव 1 month इंटर्नशिप, जिस इंटर्नशिप में हम बेस्ड ऑन दिस नॉलेज वी आर गोइंग टू वर्क ऑन ए वेरी लार्ज स्केल प्रोजेक्ट इन कोऑपरेट, like in coordination. You will have group of whatever 5 people, 10 people, because in the industry you won't be working alone. You will be having maybe hundreds of developers, so you have to understand the process. How do you coordinate? Okay, आपका कोड और उसका कोड कैसे कंबाइन होगा, and how can you work together? तो वो overall process and overall software development, and we are going to have like more detailed sessions about system design, cloud management, project management, and all that stuff. So you have to your work, like you have to live your life through as a software developer into this internship. Okay, so we usually do it full time. आप virtually join करेंगे as a remote developer into that work, I would say work format. You are going to work with us. Okay, so our extender program is very extensive. See, so someone would say कि भाई इतना सब कैसे cover होगा 3 महीने में. But what we have done, we have specially crafted, and उसको हमने काफी ज्यादा thin बनाया है ताकि आपका जो maximum knowledge और maximum coverage है जॉब्स एंड इंटरव्यूज पर्सपेक्टिव एंड एक्सपीरियंस पर्सपेक्टिव वो पहले कवर हो जाए, आपकी फाउंडेशन स्ट्रांग हो जाए, एंड देन लेटर ऑन यू कैन गो एंड यू कैन स्टार्ट पिकिंग अप एडिशनल लाइब्रेरीज और इवन द लैंग्वेजेस इफ रिक्वायर्ड. आप जावा भी पिक कर सकते हैं आफ्टर दिस, क्योंकि आपका फाउंडेशन, आपका डेटा स्ट्रक्चर, प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग वो स्ट्रांग होगा, आपके प्रोग्रामिंग कॉन्सेप्ट्स, प्रोजेक्ट अंडरस्टैंडिंग वो भी क्लियर होगा. देन यू कैन गो एंड पिक अप एनी लैंग्वेज, एनी फ्रेमवर्क. ओके, तो एक एक्सटेंसिव, एक डिटेल प्रोग्राम है, काफी इंटेंसिव है. एवरी डे यू आर गोइंग टू हैव टेक्निकल सेशंस, वी आर गोइंग टू हैव असाइनमेंट्स, लॉट ऑफ असाइनमेंट्स, like pure hands-on practice. Okay, so then we will have internship and workshops as in every weekend we are going to come together and we are going to work on a problem. ऐसा नहीं कि मैंने रिकॉर्ड करके एक आपको पर्टिकुलर प्रॉब्लम दी वही आप इम्प्लीमेंट कर रहे हो, बिट बाय बिट कॉपी पेस्ट करके लिख रहे हो. नहीं, वी हैव टू थिंक, वी हैव टू डू द पेयर प्रोग्राम्स, जहाँ पे एक प्रॉब्लम पिक करेंगे बट वी विल सॉल्व इट टुगेदर, कि कैसे इसको अप्रोच कर सकते हैं. एवरीवन हैज इट्स ओन काइंड ऑफ अप्रोच टू द प्रॉब्लम, राइट? तो उसको कैसे लेवरेज लेना है, एंड हाउ वी कैन थिंक टुगेदर एंड सॉल्व अ पर्टिकुलर प्रॉब्लम. हाइब्रिड मोड की ट्रेनिंग होगी, यू विल हैव रिकॉर्डेड सेशंस एंड यू विल हैव दीज टाइप ऑफ सेशंस इंक्लूडिंग द कोडिंग सेशंस इंशाल्लाह. And finally you will have consultation and job preparation also, jahan pe aapke mock interviews, resume preparation, portfolios, everything will be created in house. Okay, so I am going to share the comments and details about the candidates who have done the program, and there is lot more on the website, you can go through that. So people who did jump like in just 3 months after completing their graduation, so they got placed in very good MNCs with 12 10 LPA, 11 LPA, 10 LPA, so in various companies. Okay, so and we have lot more. Okay, so inshallah, like if time permitted, so I'll invite some, so they will talk to you one on one, and they will give you some advices ki kaise aage badha jaye, right? So these guys are like had joined recently 22, 23, 24 May, and they got placed. So we have like connections and we have associations with different companies in Pune, Hyderabad, Chennai, New Delhi. So we can certainly like provide you like very good referrals and all. So like those who are our clients, so we are very closely working with them. So you we have a proper recruitment and consultation process. So jahan pe our senior HR experts will like who have worked 4 to 5 years as HR, so they are going to give you insights about ki what's the overall interview process, आपका resume कैसा होगा, क्या पूछा जाएगा, and then technical interviews. So I'm going to conduct that myself. Okay, so mock interviews. So that's all I have to talk about the overall process. So this is going to be a 3 month program. आपके वर्चुअल क्लासेस जो होंगे वो एवरी ऑल्टरनेट डे पे होंगे, नॉट एवरी डे बट ऑल्टरनेट डे, मंडे और वेंसडे और थर्सडे, समथिंग लाइक दैट. And it will be in the morning time, like either 8:30 or 9 a.m. Because like like I work full time as a developer, and then other trainers who are going to join, so they also work as developers, so we have to do it off time, like business hours mein nahi kar sakte. So and secondly there will be workshops on the weekend. Every Saturday we are going to connect for at least 2 to 3 hours, जहाँ पे हम प्योर प्रोजेक्ट हैंड्स ऑन, जो भी आपके मिसकंसेप्शंस होंगे, ब्लॉकर्स होंगे, दैट विल बी रिजॉल्व ऑन द लाइक ऑन द वीकेंड इटसेल्फ. और जितने भी टॉपिक्स आप कवर करेंगे, बिकॉज देयर विल बी अ डेफिनेट सिलेबस कि ये 5 टॉपिक्स, ये 5 वीडियोस विच विल बी नॉट मोर देन 20-30 मिनट्स, वो सेशंस आपको कंप्लीट करने हैं एवरी डे. ओके, एंड देन कंबाइनिंग दैट नॉलेज उसी को इम्प्लीमेंट करेंगे वीकेंड पे, and then slowly you will start learning about like all these things: HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React.js. Okay, so that's all the overall journey is going to be about. 2 months of training, 1 month of internship, and web development is very high in demand. तो काफी सारा मिसकॉन्सेप्शन है कि एआई वगैरह से सब खत्म हो रहा है. इट्स नॉट, इट इज गोइंग टू ग्रो इवन मोर, क्योंकि ज्यादा से ज्यादा कंपनीज अभी प्रोडक्ट्स वगैरह इंट्रोड्यूस करने चाह रहे हैं. लॉट ऑफ कंपनीज आर इवन इन्वेस्टिंग ऑन द एआई साइड. बट बिलीव मी, देयर इज नथिंग फैंसी अबाउट के वो एआई ही करेगा. देयर हैज टू बी स्टिल आपका वेब लाइक फ्रंट एंड. नाउ लेट्स थिंक ऑफ द बिगेस्ट एआई प्रोडक्ट that got released, that like created the path for all of these things, like this transformation, that's chat gpt. तो वो चैट जीपीटी सॉफ्टवेयर भी अगर देखेंगे, so they have billions, or I would say if not billions, maybe hundreds of millions of users, right? तो लेकिन वो, how does that system work? How does that particular LLM model respond to that? So you have an interface, you have a front end, you have a back end, you have the ecosystem, you have the database, okay? And then all of that combined, that's part of the web development. उसके बाद आपका AI आता है. And that's how most of the companies work. They use AI for their leverage today, but that's just a part. That's one of the modules which is getting used into the software development. I'm not discouraging कि भाई AI में मत जाओ or something like that. Definitely, but it has a different scope. It has a different roadmap altogether. Okay, that's all what I have, but I want to spend 5 to 10 minutes on AI roadmap, because in future, inshallah, we are going to get started with the AI products. Those who are confident कि भाई वो उस journey को follow करेंगे और AI पे ही जाएंगे, so I have something to share with them. But before that, any questions about this program, software web development? Okay, so last thing, our introduction session is going to continue for 2 more days. Okay, so tomorrow and day after. So in that, inshallah, we are going to pick up on some, I would say, hands-on, जो basic concepts है HTML, CSS और web development के related. So I'm going to also give you a glimpse of JavaScript को करना कैसे करते हैं, कैसे build करते हैं, and then that will be our introduction. Okay, so we cannot go in deeper details without like understanding the proper syntaxes and process. But I'm going to give you an insight कि हमारा जो classes है, हमारा way of teaching है, वो कैसा होगा, and whether it is feasible for you to learn in this pattern or not. If not, you can give us your valuable feedbacks. If yes, I would love to have you as our students for next this program. Okay. Okay, so let me quickly jump to what AI journey is all about, and inshallah in future we're going to very soon do a boot camp and a webinar कि भाई AI को कैसे अभी, like if you have to learn in 2026 तो कैसे pick करना है, so how to get ready for that. So let me just share. So this is like I have created a blueprint ke, like what are the core technologies and how do we get started with the AI. Agar, like if we start today, how much time it will take, and what all things we have to cover. So अगर देखा जाए 20 AI जो है, so like it has moved along, like it has gone beyond experimentation वगैरह. Now we can see the practical implementation. Chat GPT आ गया, DeepSeek आ गया, like Gamma and all other things, right? So Gemini or whatever. So we have Llama from Facebook. So all these things are there, right? So apart from theory and like I would say research level, now we have the foundation of something. We can go and we can get started with it. We can learn to build things, or we can learn to integrate, okay, with agentic AI. Okay, तो आपको यहाँ पे build भी नहीं करना है, but you have to learn to how to connect, how to I would say integrate, how to use these, like अभी chat gpt, meta का llama and deepseek, so all these models are free available. दो तरीके हैं, या तो आप एपीआई से उसका सब्सक्रिप्शन लोगे, यू विल पे देम एंड यू विल यूज दैट फॉर योर लेवरेज. आप किसी भी सॉफ्टवेयर वगैरह में इंटीग्रेट कर सकते हैं. एंड अनदर वे इज टू host that open source like well trained models. अभी डीप सीक ने एक रिसेंटली एक मॉडल लॉन्च किया एंड दे मेड इट ओपन सोर्स. तो दैट इज सो पावरफुल कि अभी चैट जीपीटी प्रेशर में आ गया. वो बोल रहे कि नहीं, लेट्स फोकस ऑन कोर. ओके, लेट्स स्टार्ट एनहांसिंग इट, ऑप्टिमाइजिंग इट. उतना उससे ज्यादा डीप सीक ने अभी आई वुड से काम किया है उस पे. सो दैट्स अ रिसर्च प्रोडक्ट प्रोजेक्ट बाय द वे, डेवलप्ड बाय चाइना. and not even, I would say, one tenth or like one fifth of the cost of I would say this chat GPT. काफी कम कॉस्ट में उन्होंने इतना बड़ा, आई वुड से, लार्ज लैंग्वेज मॉडल क्रिएट किया. So now, how do we create a like very strong foundation for AI development or machine learning development? So उसके अगर देखा जाए, so there is a very strong foundation based on these three pillars. Okay, one is mathematics. You have to know about calculus, algebra, probability. You have to know about statistics, okay, distribution and pattern, hypothesis testing, and everything. You have to learn about programming. That's your Python, like which is very commonly getting used. Although there are libraries that are getting used in JavaScript and Java as well, but most common standard companies Python ही use करती है. So better to go for Python. I won't recommend कि कोई दूसरी language pick करो machine learning सीखने के लिए, right? So नाउ आइडियली अगर देखा जाए, अगर आप रोड मैप देखोगे, जो भी वेबसाइट्स वगैरह या जो भी आपके यूट्यूब वगैरह, और इफ यू आर गोइंग टू डू इट ऑन योर ओन, यूजुअली दे विल रिकमेंड दिस कि मैथमेटिक्स स्ट्रॉन्ग कर लो, स्टैटिस्टिक्स स्ट्रॉन्ग कर लो. बट यूजुअली क्या होता है, व्हेन वी गेट इनटू मैथमेटिक्स, maybe in 5 days, 10 days, or in a month, you will lose that momentum, you will lose that energy. आप mathematics में ही अटक जाओगे, okay, and you won't be able to complete it. This is almost, I would say, 5 years of mathematics जो यहाँ पे है, okay. And do we have to really learn all of that or some of that? Do we have to actually memorize or implement those formulas and everything, or what is the need? Okay, तो उसके लिए what, like, I have been into the AI journey from last, like, I would say, since 2019. It has been almost 7 8 years working on AI and machine learning products in various MNCs. In QSOL also I have been enterprise architect for a AI led product. So I have created my own way कि भाई हम कैसे सीखेंगे. If we have to learn today in 2000, I would say 26, so how should we pick, what should be our journey like? And it would be mathematics directly. So we are going to pick up Python first. Okay. So learn Python, but not framework. We don't have to go into APIs and whatever. We have to go and learn Python basic syntax and learn Python for AI. So in that, we have to learn APIs, or sorry, libraries like NumPy and Pandas, which are data handling or data computing libraries, जहाँ पे आप data को handle करना सीखेंगे. Next thing is visualization. How do you visualize data को, कैसे आप like visualize करोगे, कैसे देखोगे, in the form of plots, in the form of graphs, in the form of charts. So for that, these two libraries would be very important. Then going into the core algorithms, AI के related जो भी core algorithms that got evolved in, I would say, 50 60 years. AI अभी नहीं आया. एआई के जो कॉन्सेप्ट्स थे, जो उसके थ्योरीज थे, दैट गॉट like evolved or discovered almost like I would say 50 years back. तब से लोग एआई पे कोशिश कर रहे हैं. So now that today there are very powerful and very advanced computing engines, जो GPUs in the form of GPUs, CPU की जगह आप GPUs यूज करते हैं nowadays. तो वो ज्यादा से ज्यादा कंप्यूटिंग कर सकते हैं. दैट मेड इट पॉसिबल कि भाई इतने बड़े I would say large language models or these kind of AI like machine learning models came into existence, okay, with the help of computing engine. And in future there are going to be more powerful computing servers, or uske help se maybe we will be able to unlock like much bigger and faster and much like different paradigms of these AI models. So regression and classification at a high level, so that supervisor learning, we are going to learn about that. Mathematics, we have to pick. Okay, कभी ना कभी तो pick करना ही पड़ेगा, because without that you are not an engineer, you are not a machine learning engineer. लेकिन इसमें एक लिमिटेड सेट ऑफ कॉन्सेप्ट्स होगा जो हम पिक करेंगे रिगार्डिंग स्टैटिस्टिक्स, मैट्रिसेस, कैलकुलस. सो ऑल ऑफ दैट नीड्स टू बी कवर्ड. And then we are going to go to the specialization, jahan pe we are going to talk about libraries like OpenCV or other libraries, ki how to create AI models and how to train them, how to use them, okay? And then we are going to go to the much advanced libraries for deep learning, let's say with the help of TensorFlow or Keras. So we're going to use all of that, right? So we are going to learn ki network or neural networks, how do they work, how can we maybe go and build an large language model by ourselves. Okay, although there is very huge computing and computing cost and all, lekin fir bhi we have to learn the concepts. And then finally we have to do a capstone. And believe me, if you have to be a machine learning engineer or a AI ko jo roadmap hoga, you have to go through all of this. If you are missing on one of these things, so you are missing on the core foundation of the machine learning development. Okay, जो AIML जिसको हम अभी बोलते हैं, so you have to, this is the foundation. मान लीजिए ये basis है आपका, ये टेक्स्ट बुक है आपकी, and then on top of this you have to go beyond. Okay, so you will go into more specializations, more advanced libraries, building different models and everything. So that's what is required, right? So abhi other another part of it कि भाई once you understand those concepts, अभी उसको leverage कैसे करना है. अभी AI models वगैरह इतने large language models है, do we have to really build new models जहाँ पे chat GPT ने they have invested billions of dollars. Okay, are there going to be companies or job offers कि जहाँ पे companies आपको बोलेंगी कि नया chat GPT बनाओ या नया एक LLM model बनाओ? No. So in 2026, you have to go and you have to learn about different way of technology that's called RAG and agentic AI. Okay, so this is a retrieved augmented generation जहाँ पे आप you will learn how to retrieve the data from these large language models and fine tune it, refine it और उसको अपने हिसाब से कैसे use कर सकते हैं. Because these large language models contain information about everything. Now if you have to specialize it, let's say कि आपको खाली health care के लिए, खाली like I would say hotels के लिए, खाली कस्टमर सर्विसेज के लिए, खाली चैटबॉट बनाने के लिए, if you have to use that set of information, so how do we use that with the help of RAG? Okay, so उसकी LLM फाउंडेशन वो कैसे बना है, कैसे काम करता है, डेटा पाइपलाइंस, हाउ डू वी यूज दैट, वेक्टराइज दैट, एंड सिमेंटिक रिट्रीवल्स कैसे उसको फेच करेंगे, and all of that. In agentic AI roadmap, you have to use like different tools, let's say LangChain and lambda index frameworks and all these things. So that is what comes later into the picture. जब आप machine learning concepts के बारे में समझ गए, now you have to learn कि how to use it, and this all combines groups together. इसका जो program होगा, that will be different than foundation for AI and machine learning जो कि मैंने इससे पहले explain किया. So this is a different program. Here you are going to learn कि existing models को pick करके कैसे use करेंगे अपने project में. Okay, so this is the overall journey for AI ML. Okay, so अगर उसका I would say जो आपके job ladder है, how do we get started? So you may get an opportunity if you have understood the concepts, above concepts very well, created a capstone project. So you will get opportunity as AI ML engineer. So building scalable AI DL pipelines, and you have to learn about ML ops. Okay, so how to like use different I would say components or hardware systems to integrate and build a robust machine learning ecosystem, and then deploying production ready systems. Okay, so that's job of the AI engineer. So then there is specialist who will work on RAG systems, who will work on building these different models, fine tune them, tweak them, and that's a very research and that's a very data science driven project जहाँ पे आपको based on the data you have to finalize कि आपका output क्या होगा. And finally comes the solution architect, okay, who does have a knowledge about AI ML concepts and specialization also. So they provide business propositions कि ये business के लिए इस तरह से model build होगा और ये तरीका है, and then AI ML are going to work for that on that. So designing end-to-end intelligence intelligent systems. Okay, so they are going to also like they need to have very good knowledge about the web development anyways. Okay, so that comes into picture. And there are specific roles कि जहाँ पे खाली आप AI ML पे काम करेंगे. So that's all about what we learned. Okay, knowing about mathematics and knowing about I would say those TensorFlow and OpenCV and all that libraries and lot of algorithms. Okay. ओके, तो वो सब नॉलेज अगर आप गेन कर लेते हैं, सो दैट विल बी योर बेसिस फॉर AI ML इंजीनियर्स। ओके, बिलीव मी दिस इज वेरी हाई इन डिमांड। बहुत अच्छे ऑफर्स है, बहुत अच्छे अपॉर्चुनिटीज है, बट द वॉल्यूम इज नॉट टू हाई, दैट यू हैव टू बी क्लियर। देयर इज वेरी बिग कंपटीशन, क्योंकि अभी हर कोई AIML में जा रहा है। एंड देन इन a company of let's say 500 600 developers, there is maybe opening of not more than 10 to 15 AIML engineers, जहाँ पे आपके वेब डेवलपर्स 100 200 होंगे, 300 होंगे, लेकिन आपकी जो रिक्वायरमेंट होगी AIML के लिए, दैट विल बी at most 10 to 15 engineers. That means you have to find your like way, you have to find your path, and you have to build compete with that competition. ठीक है, find the place in those 10 15 engineers only, and certainly company picks best of the best and like most experienced, क्योंकि AIML का if they have to invest, they are investing tons of money on the computing। जो भी आप ये वट एवर ट्रेनिंग वगैरह के लिए इम्प्लीमेंट यूज कर रहे हैं, उसके लिए काफी सारा पैसा लगता है। तो दे डेफिनेटली you have to be at a very good level, okay, you have the basic knowledge, fundamentals are strong, and then you can collaborate as a associate engineer or a AI ML engineer। okay, तो इसके लिए you have to have a very, think of it like a UPSC। जैसे हमारे एकेडमिक्स में you have other jobs, and on the other side you have UPSC as in IAS KAS। if you have to prepare for that, forget about everything else, just focus on that for 5 6 years, ऐसा हो जाता है, right? So that's what AI journey is like, really good opportunities, really wonderful journey ahead, but you have to be very much focused, okay? And that's all I have to share. And in Accenture, inshallah, we are going to very soon start with these AIML programs. So jahan pe hum basic foundation, advanced and integration with RAG and agentic AI. So we are going to pick all of that. So that will be our upcoming batches post probably in January. And for everyone, I welcome you, and I hope you guys will continue with web development. Any questions, guys? Any doubts? I'll stop here. That's all I have to share. No questions. Thank you so much for joining.